with a short presentation of your teachers, Shaul and Ora. We are both licensed guides from the Israeli Ministry of Tourism since 2011. Certified guides from the City of David, certified guides from the Temple Institute in Jerusalem. We have been working in the tourism sector for several years, in charters, on sailing boats for Shaul, in airplanes, our cabin crew for Ora. We organize different tours of Israel, events, and so forth. But above all, and first of all, we have been biblical teachers for over 20 years. We're passionate about the Bible, the Word of God, the story of Israel, and archaeology. Ora, myself, I hold master's degrees in archaeology from the University of Bar Ilan in Israel, and I have participated in several excavations, and the one that I liked the most was the biblical city of Gat Tel Tzafi. Let's define the word tourism. Did you have any idea that this word could come from the sacred language, Hebrew language? Look at this verse. Send men to explore the land of Canaan, which I give to the children of Israel. You will send a man from each of the tribes of their fathers. All will be principal among them. The word that is used here is the word to explore is the word latur. Latur means to explore, yaturu, and from this root comes the word tourism, a tour. So we are touring the land. When we are touring the land, we're just making tourism. We are using the Hebrew language without even knowing it. We invite you to explore, to tour, to walk in the footsteps of the heroes of the Bible, our ancestors in the faith. We have titled our new video series Derekh HaMelekh, that means the way of the king of Judah. We will visually and physically visit the biblical sites of the kingdoms of Judah and Ephraim using videos, additional historical and archaeological information. Are you ready to travel? Follow us on this wonderful spiritual adventure. Our first video will take you to visit the Kingdom of Judah, starting with the eternal hills of Judea, which are the eternal property of the Creator, like it's mentioned in Ezekiel 36:1. And you, Son of Man, prophesies about the mountains of Israel. You will say, mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord. And though, mountains of Israel, you shall sprout your branches and bear fruit for my people of Israel, because these things are about to happen. Let's start with a bit of history. 40 years have passed, and the young generation enters the promised land, with as leaders two righteous people from the tribes of Judah and Ephraim, Joshua, Yehoshua, which is the same word as Yeshua, Jesus, and Caleb. The land of Canaan is to be redeemed in order to proclaim the name of God, as announced to Abraham. It is time to complete the mission. 12 tribes, 12 portions are gradually conquered. The 12 tribes are the foundation of the nation of Israel. And we find this model in the celestial Jerusalem in Revelation 21:12. It had a great high wall. It had 12 gates, and on the gates 12 angels, and written names, those of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. The first king of Israel is appointed in the person of King Shaul. Then comes David. David chosen according to the heart of God. He will be acclaimed by all the people, the 12 tribes, in the city of Hebron that is located in Judean hills. 2 Samuel 5:3 says, So all the elders of Israel came to the king to Hebron, and King David made a covenant with them in Hebron before the Lord. They anointed David king over Israel. But why Hebron? Okay, it's the city of the Patriarchs, that's true. When the explorers entered the Holy Land, They came first to Hebron. This is where Abraham bought the land and buried Sarah. This is where all the rest of the patriarchs entered. Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, and their wives, and they are all buried there. And it is also according to Jewish tradition where Adam and Eve are buried. At the temple in Jerusalem, tells of the Talmud, before making the daily sacrifice, the guard explained, "The day has come." Matthias son of Harash said, "Did it get up as above Hebron?" And the guard said, "Yes." Then, later, for the sake of clarification, the rabbis asked, "What is the meaning of the city of Hebron? Why should it be mentioned?" And the answer was to evoke the memory and the merit of the ancestors. King David had first to connect with the Patriarchs before he reigned in Jerusalem. And we'll try to understand when we visit Hebron. Hebron is located in the mountains of Judea and is one of the 4 holy cities of Eretz Israel, the land of Israel. 3 places were bought in the Promised Land according to the laws of the Word, and that was the cave of Machpelah, where the patriarchs are buried, Joseph's tomb, and the Temple Mount. Next come King Shlomo, Solomon. Shlomo, his name, the root of the name shares that of the word Shalom. It is the image of the Messiah reign. King Shlomo, King Solomon is crowned at the city of David on the source of the Gihon, which we will speak at length when we will be visiting the city of David. Be sure not to miss the episode as we will explain why Yeshua, Jesus, opened the eyes of the blind man at the pool of Shiloah, or Siloam, that means the Sent One. Unfortunately, King Shlomo, King Solomon will sin and his kingdom will be divided after his death. The kingdom of Judah will be ruled by Rehoboam, which is the son of Solomon, and the northern kingdom ruled by Jeroboam will often be enemies through history. 1 Kings 2:16 tells us, "When all Israel saw that the king did not listen to him, the people answered the king, 'What share do we have with David? We have no inheritance with the son of Isaiah.'" Ishai, in fact, is Ishai. "At your tent, Israel, now provide for your house, David." And Israel went to their tents. This was really a wound that will remain open in the people of Israel until the expulsion and exile of the northern kingdom by the Assyrians. The tabernacle of David, which represents the kingdom of David, was torn apart, torn down. It is a deep wound awaiting healing. Israel lost many of his tribes, his brothers. Until today, Judah awaits the return of his brother Ephraim. But God, always foreseeing the remedy before the disease, promised the restoration of the kingdom of David. Amos 9:11 tells us, "When that day comes, I will raise up the fallen sukkah of David, tabernacle of David. I will close up its gaps, raise up its ruins, and rebuild it as it used to be, so that Israel can possess what is left of Edom and all of the nation bearing my name, says God who is doing this." In an incredible way, the act of apostles take up this verse at the time of the coming of the nation through Yeshua. Shimon has told in detail that what God did when he first began to show his concern from taking from among the Goyim, the nations, a people to bear his name. And the words of the prophets, Amos 9, are in complete harmony with this, for it is written, "After this I will return, and I will rebuild the fallen tent of David, tabernacle of David, Sukkot David. I will rebuild its ruins and will restore it, so that the rest of mankind may seek the Lord, that is all the nation, the Goyim who have been called by my name, say God who is doing these things." So we'll try to understand what does it mean exactly. Why are the apostles quoting the verse from Amos 9 when the nations are coming to faith through Yeshua? We will begin our tour with the Kingdom of Judah, with the southern end of the Judean hills. Follow us towards Har Amasa, where we live.
So now let's have a look on a map of Israel. And we start from the north where the tribes of Dan was, and the Galil where the tribe of Naphtali, Issachar, Asher, and Menashe were, and then we had the hills of Samaria and Judea. We start from the tribe of Ephraim, and then Benjamin and the north of Jerusalem, and then we had the tribe of Judah on the Judean hills. The tribe of Dan was more on the shore with the Shvela of the Philistines, the territory of the Philistines. The last tribe, more at the south, is the tribe of Shechem. Today we will have a look on the Samaria and Judea. Samaria were in biblical time until today the main biblical cities were aligned on the watershed of the mountains. So we start by Shechem, and then Shiloh, and then Bethel, and then Jerusalem, and then Bethlehem, and then Hebron here. From Hebron, the Patriarchs road. This road is the Patriarchs road, and on the watershed. And from Hebron, the watershed split in two anticlines. One on the west is the Hebron anticlines. One on the east is the Carmel Maon anticline. And today we will have a special look on the little village of Amasa where we live, which is the most highest point of the eastern Judean hills. Let's go on the field now.
So now the Roman road. I'm standing on what is left of the Roman road. This road has a kind of story in our village because some people in charge with us of the restoration wanted to call this road the Caesar Way, but we didn't want it. We wanted to give the credit to our forefathers who first walked and used this way. For sure, this was a Roman road, but it was built on the path of the ancient way, the way that the Patriarchs, King David, used going all the way to Hebron and Jerusalem. So we love archaeology, and moreover when it relates to the Bible. So we kind of won the battle and called this Derekh HaMelekh, the King's Way, alluding of course to the King of Judah. So I invite you to follow us along the way up to Har Amasa.
That was inaugurated for the project The King's Way. Derekh HaMelekh. Way to Amasa, we have something very interesting. It's the Roman road. The Roman road, that is the last construction is from the Byzantine time, and of course on the Patriarch way, on the King's Way. But the last one we can see is with technology, Roman technology. So this is what the transversal border to retain the dirt up, and then so here the transversal border is carved in the stone. Sometimes it's beautiful stone that are arranged every few meters, and you have the lateral border. This is two range of stones going all the way to retain the dirt and to mark the way, because some of these roads were for military reason, and many times they work at night and they wanted to know where they are. And this is the Roman road, but here we have something more particular, is what is called a calad. It's between the rocks, in the hole of the rocks, they fill up with stones, they arrange it to be a flat surface, and look, 2,000 years after, it's still there. And because they were running on this road with chariots for military reasons.
We just arrived at Amasa, 853 meters, which would be in feet. How much feet?
2,500.
2,500 feet high. It's the 8th of Jerusalem, the same. We are the same altitude. And we are here in Har Amasa. Har Amasa, it's two words.
Yes, it's two words. Har means mountain, hill, like Har Megiddo, you know, for Armageddon. And here, and Amasa is the name of. We have to go back to the book of 2 Samuel, 19 and 20, and this is the story where David is the age of 65, something like this, and his son Absalom makes a coup.
It's a problem, huh?
The big problem. You see that David, it's not. He didn't have a simple life. David had many problems with his family. He had to work with his family. Very good soldier, very courageous people, like Joab, his nephew. And after the story of Absalom, Joab killed Absalom, and now David is not very he doesn't trust him anymore, so he wants to replace his general Joab by Amasa, which is also from the family of David. He's a cousin with Joab, and of course Joab doesn't like it, and at the end Joab will kill Amasa.
Political, it's political.
Politics. And he will kill Amasa, but not here. He will kill in 2 Samuel. It is said that it's at the place called the Big Stone of Gibeon, which is not here. It's in the north of Jerusalem, in the territory of Ephraim, Benjamin, and so this is not the place Amasa here, but most of what happened at the creation of the state of Israel, they had to name the new settlements, and so many settlements they took back their original name, like Maon and Ziv,
biblical
Carmel,
right
Utah, or Hebron, and but for the new settlement that they had no name, they had to decide for a name. And here they took Amasa. We don't know exactly what.
Well, we can understand it because it's like the Judean hills. It's a biblical setting, so all the names were chosen in the Bible.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, it's from the Bible. We have an overview of the point here. So at the south, we have we can see a little point, bright. It's a solar experience that is in the desert, Negev experience, and it's exactly the way of the Egyptian border. And then we go all around. All these little villages that we can see are Bedouins that are settling by families and clans, and they are all shepherds, so they have to spread in the valley. And this is all the villages. And then on the top of the mountain, we can see some buildings. This is the city of Arad, 550 meters, about 1,500 feet, and you can imagine that right after these mountains you have the depression of the Dead Sea. It's 400 meters below sea level, 1,200 feet below sea level. This is the Dead Sea, and then Up, you have the mountains of Jordan, which is called in the book of Joshua the border of Edom border. This was the limits of the tribe of Judah, and it's said the border of Edom. This is the enemy of all the biblical stories, the enemy coming from east up to the Byzantines. There it was the problem. So that's why there is so many fortresses and occupation of the border.
It's spring. You see, we have all the flocks in the hills. The Bedouins are just coming with all their sheep. And here you can see maybe a cavern. You see, let's move my camera. Maybe you will be able to see second one. And another place, a third one. 1, 2, 3. Those are Byzantines caverns used maybe to bury people, because there was a lot of people living here.